And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, a couple new changes. We're going to start giving you guys the breakdown immediately in every podcast from now on. So, today, we have a good lineup for you guys. Me and JB are going to grade the Packers and Steelers draft. We're going to talk about the draft, and we're talking all NBA playoffs after that. JB?
Well, like you said, it's not the news you want to hear, but it's the truth.
JB, cut to the intro.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. And on today's Unbiased Hard Take. That'll never go away, I love it. Alright, JB, as we told the people in the prelude, prologue, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. We're going to talk about the NFL Draft. It's been 13 days at the time of this recording, May 2nd, at 7:13 p.m. 13 days since the people seen us together last, JB. With that, JB, we'll talk the draft. JB, before we grade the draft, we're going to talk about the draft in general. What's something from the draft that you are surprised about, and what's your thoughts on this year's NFL Draft, my friend?
Well, for me, a lot of people are surprised with the Penix draft, but I was not. I was not shocked about it. We nailed that. We nailed that pick.
We nailed it. Nailed it.
But for the one thing that I'm going to talk about is that pretty much all the quarterbacks got drafted in the first round. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But for me, I think New England's finally got their new quarterback, Drake May, once again. A rookie quarterback is going to be a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots once again. And how is that going to turn out? I don't know. Probably not good. With the J.J. McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings, which to me that is a good pick for them. I think that new duo, J.J. McCartney and Justin Jefferson, is going to be a good pick. I forgot who drafted Kool-Aid. And who was it? Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs. They got us. I don't know what the Panthers was smoking. I don't know what happened or what they did, but Kansas City, I think pretty much they stole the first round.
You talk about Buffalo, not Carolina, because the Chiefs Buffalo literally.
I thought it was
Buffalo literally traded.
I thought it was Carolina. I mean, we normally see Carolina do something stupid, but yes, it was.
Yep.
I thought it was Carolina, but it was Buffalo. But I don't know what they were smoking. But I do believe that they stole the first round, getting Xavier Worthy late, and I mean late in the first round. I feel like he was way too short, he drafted way too late in the first round, in my opinion. To me, he was probably the second best receiver in that draft. So
better than really
to me, anyways.
Wow.
I know that is a very hard take.
You don't think he had too much of a drop problem?
I want to say not too much of a drop problem, but I mean that could easily be fixed. The drop problem can easily be fixed.
And you thought he's better than Neighbors and Rome, a Chicago picked up. JB, man, that's a hard take, JB. That's a hard take. Okay.
Well, every time that the Bears pick someone up, it's always not good. So
Typically offensively, they know their defensive talent. Typically, Chicago does at least.
Pretty much. But yeah, when it comes to offense, I feel like they're lost.
JB, wow, okay. And I like the neighbors pick, and I'm gonna go back to Buffalo, like you kind of said there, because what were they thinking? You can't beat Kansas City. You lost Stephon Diggs. You've lost defensive pieces. Buffalo's worse than they were last year, and they couldn't beat Kansas City then. So you let Kansas City trade up with you so they can go get the one position they need. What the Chiefs struggled with last year. Travis Kelce's still a baller. He's an all Hall of Fame tight end. He's getting a little older. He's not fast. He's big. He's an elite tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who has a drop problem as Packer fans, but he's speedy. The Chiefs needed a receiver, JB, and their arch rival literally let him get one.
Yep.
The Chiefs were slow last year, and with our receiver right now, Rice, having some legal issues, we'll see if he gets suspended. His
Probably will.
future's up in the air. Right, his future's up in the air right now. But they signed Hollywood Brown fast. They drafted Worthy fast. They have speed now, JB.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be a slow football team. Good luck guarding the speed with Travis Kelce is all I'm saying. And their arch rival let them do it. They were smoking something. They were probably smoking it with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, probably.
And JB, back to the Michael Penix thing, I'm going to hyper-focus on that point. Because we nailed it. I absolutely understand that pick. I see the vision. History repeats itself, JB. I'm a big believer in that, as you know. I think, as I'll get into with the Clippers here soon, I'll make this point again later. Historical teams tend to be stable. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, New England's always been relatively relevant. They made the playoffs post Tom Brady. They're in a real building stage right now. We'll see. So historical good teams are always typically relevant. The Yankees, the Lakers, the list goes on and on. So, and then when you have teams that make good decisions, the Packers had Brett Favre. They drafted Aaron Rodgers. That's a stupid pick, everyone said. What are they doing? Well, it turned out to be an outstanding pick because then Aaron Rodgers went out there and won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then we drafted Jordan Love. Oh, what are they doing? They're idiots. Oh, look, now it's smart. Atlanta's getting hate right now for drafting Penix. We nailed it, JB. We nailed it. Right on the head.
Did.
Now, it ruffled feathers with Kirk Cousins. Who cares? Kirk Cousins isn't Aaron Rodgers. Kirk Cousins has never won a Super Bowl. He's never been a league MVP. He's not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. So what has earned him the right to be able to go, oh, you can't draft a first-round quarterback? The Falcons are being smart. Bring in the kid, let him develop behind a good quarterback who can learn, then give him the reins in 2 or 3 years. Let's not act like Kirk Cousins is young and he's coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
Let's not act like Kirk Cousins is this guaranteed deal. I love the pick by Atlanta. It makes a lot of sense. They're thinking future and now. Kirk Cousins now, Penix in the future. Let him learn and develop just like Jordan Love, just like Aaron Rodgers did. They're taking the Green Bay method.
True.
And didn't we have J.J. McCarthy, JB, to the Vikings in our mock draft? I believe we did.
I do believe so. We did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. That was the one you selected. I selected Penix Jr. So, me and JB, really good. And a note I want to make is Spencer Rattler, the quarterback who I had a second-round grade on. He fell in the draft. There were not a lot of quarterbacks post the first round drafted. And he ended up going to New Orleans. Rattler did. So, I mean, I think it's a good selection by them. Just wanted to note that as well. And Blake Corum, JB, went to the Rams. He was the Michigan running back who I thought was the best running back in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rams have a two-headed monster now at running back.
Yeah, and also I think if I think it's a lot easier to be a star rookie running back than because he can have the reign for like 2 or 3 years and then oh my god he's washed, oh no.
Well, and they got Kyron Williams, so it's not going to be a one man show. They have some players. JB Puka,
Hmm.
Cooper Cup if he can stay healthy. Matt Stafford is getting a little old, has an injury history. Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, JB and seeing Stafford stays healthy and they can stay healthy. They got some ballers. LA does, man.
Hmm. Oh yeah, they do. They sure do.
With that, JB, we're going to continue talking NFL draft. But JB, we're going to grade our individual teams. JB, you're going to grade the Steelers. I will grade the Packers as is only right and balance in the universe. So JB, let's start with you, my friend. What is your grade going from A plus to Super F on the grade board, JB, for your Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I'm gonna give for my Pittsburgh Steelers an A plus. I mean, it's no shocker, but if you actually look at the PFF.com and on the draft, they even got us as an A plus, and I feel that they hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. They absolutely hate us. They think that Micah Parsons is better than T.J. Watt, for crying out loud. That makes no sense in my book. Like literally, I don't know if you've seen that podcast with C.J. Stroud and Micah Parsons, where Micah Parsons he was basically saying that the Cowboys his division is better than all the other divisions, and C.J. Stroud was like, no, the AFC North is the best division because all four of us went to the playoffs. And guess where the Cowboys' division, guess where the Giants was? Nowhere. Guess where the Washington was? They even said I think he even said that the Washington is better than the Steelers. Yeah, this is how dumb Micah Parsons is, ladies and gentlemen. He is stupid. He
I can't
thinks
speak on that.
he
Never seen it. Never
thinks
seen it.
go and watch it. After this, go ahead and watch it. It is hilarious. CJ Stroud was that young kid knows ball, right? He knows ball. He knows better than the most of the veterans here. But he's dumb. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. He's dumb. It's dumb to even think that the NFC South or was he the NFC South? Yeah, that his division is a lot better than the AFC North. That's all I
The
gotta say.
NFC South's one of the worst divisions in football.
Yep.
The Buccaneers won the division last year, JB. Now, of course, I've never seen that podcast, but I think the Steelers had a very good draft. I really do. They addressed their offensive line issues, so there's truly no excuse for having bad offensive line play this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nope.
They addressed that issue.
We even drafted probably one of the best centers in the second round. Yes, there was. I want to say there was probably, yeah, no, there was no one better than Zach Frazier. There isn't. Where we got him in the second round, and honestly, he should have been late first round. Honestly, in my opinion, but we got him in the second round, so kudos to that. But we also finally got our tackle, so the monstrous tackle that we have, Troy Fatanu. I think I said his name right. Remember, I'm not good with names here. And
Oh,
we
JB.
got Roman Wilson, and he's a great pickup for our Deontay Johnson trade. He's probably one of the best slots that we've have in a while. And then to me, probably one of the best steals in the draft, my friend. Peyton Wilson.
You texted me about Peyton Wilson the night you guys drafted him. You did.
Yes, even though um he does have an ACL history, but it doesn't the fact that once he comes back, he's a monster. Like I don't know if you've seen Luke Kuechly talking about someone, but he's a big high hope on Peyton Wilson. To me, I see Peyton Wilson as a Luke Kuechly 2.0, in my opinion. The way how quick he is, how way he can know where the ball is going to be, knows what pass coverage he needs to go to. He can read offenses very well in college. I mean, he has to take that knowledge to the pros, but he is a very, very, very smart linebacker. And then we also had Patrick Queen as well. So our linebacking core is looking really nice. Finally, ever since the Ryan Shazier tragic injury, we've been struggling to get our linebacker core where it was. And now I do believe it is probably stronger than ever. Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt on the outside, and then we got Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson and Cole Holcomb. And I still believe I think we might still have Kawan Alexander as well. So I feel like on that. But and then we finally got our cornerback.
He's currently a free agent.
Okay, so he's currently a free agent. I still say we probably should sign him back because he was a monster too. Anyways, but we got probably one of the best, probably not one of the best, probably top 5 lockdown corners in the 6th round. Ryan Watts. And he only had 1 touchdown out of 267 coverage snaps in the college and only allowed 1 touchdown. So say how it is, but I mean, see on here on what the PFF says, Watts put up an 84.9 run defense grade over the last 2 years, second among Big Ten cornerbacks in that span. So, and like I feel like this year is probably one of the best years that we've had in a while.
You know, JB, you're nicer to your Steelers, and I'm going to be my Packers. My Packers had an outstanding draft. I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers an A- for their draft. And I love everything from round 2 on. I'll get into that in a minute. And I don't mind round 1. That's why it's an A-. I just think we could have gotten a better pick in round 1. We ended up drafting Jordan Morgan, an offensive lineman from Arizona. He's an outstanding offensive lineman. I had a 2nd-round grade on him. I watched a lot of film on him his last few days. He rarely missed an assignment. He's good in a run and pass sets. Mel Kiper had him as a 1st-round receiver, as a plug-and-play starter. So I am happy to see the Packers go get some protection for our young franchise QB. Especially we lost John Runyon in free agency. David Bakhtiari has been released. Of course, he's injured all the time anyway. And so the Packers have lost some offensive linemen in free agency. We needed to address it here. We still have a good line, but he's a good pick here. But we passed up on Cooper DeJean and Kool-Aid McKinstry. We could have had both of them. They ended up going early round 2, but the Packers drafted Jordan Morgan over those 2 guys. I wouldn't have done that. But Brian Gutekunst said that he was the best player on the board, so they must see something that I don't. Of course, they get the big bucks. I mean, the Packers typically draft offensive linemen well, so I don't think that's a bad pick. But everything beyond that, I absolutely love, JB, because we drafted Javon Bullard in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Javon Bullard is a fearless tackler. One of the best, given an elite coverage grade at both slot, and was a confidence tackler. He's a hard tackler. It says here, especially against the run. And I look at other second round pick JB earlier in the round. We drafted Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker from Georgia. Texas A&M. Excuse me, not Georgia. Jesus. And he also hard tackler. We got a new defensive coordinator, JB, Jeff Hafley from
Mm-hmm.
Boston College. We're giving him some new toys, and these guys like to hit. These guys like to hit, JB. He's I watched a lot of film on Cooper. He's one of the best off the ball tacklers and created 17 tackles for loss and 8 sacks in just 12 games for one of the nation's best defenses. His scouting report, he flies across the field with elite speed and pursuit. He's coming to hit, JB.
Mm-hmm.
Packer linebacker core. We talk about the Steelers. Quay Walker. He's a hard hitter. He's physical. Over 100 tackles for us. Now you put Cooper beside him. You got Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary going after that quarterback, and big Kenny Clark up front. Okay, okay. On top of the fact that we have we got the Bullard, of course, and Xavier McKinney at safety now. Jair Alexander, so he can stay healthy. Hopefully, JB, the Packers got some ballers on defense. The Packers got some ballers on defense. And I want to end on this one. We had some late picks, JB. We had some middle round people. We drafted some more safeties, Evan Williams, stuff like that. So more defensive toys in the later rounds. We ended up drafting more offensive linemen. We drafted as well. That was a big position for us. We invested in our offensive line, and we invested in safety and corner. I am going to talk a little bit here about our 7th round pick. Pull his my notes up on him, JB. It is, excuse me, Kalen King, who had an outstanding 2022 season, where he was actually a first round pick in a lot of grades from mock draft people, where he had 21 pass breakups and 3 picks. He had a bad year in 2023, which is this past season, and did not test well in the pre-draft, which hurt his draft status. We got him in round 7 with our very last pick. So the Packers got some toys in that secondary room now. Jair Alexander's back. We re-signed Nixon. Carrington Ballantyne had a good season for us last season at moments. Packers got some defense, JB. And we drafted a quarterback in round 7, JB. Michael Pratt. Michael Pratt threw 90 touchdowns and ran 28 in 45 games for Tulane. He has a lot of experience in the college game. At a lower level program, he made smart decisions in the draft recap. A little bit of film I watched on him, about 5 minutes worth. He makes good decisions, so it looks like Sean Clifford has some competition in the backup quarterback room in Green Bay. Always good to see. You always need a good backup, so
Yep.
good to see Green Bay does quarterback very well. So I give the Packers an A minus.
Mm. And
Think I'm being too harsh?
I think you're being a little too nice. Because apparently on the PPF, the Green Bay Packers is a B plus.
What's really?
Mm-hmm. A B plus.
I didn't even talk about Marshawn Lloyd, who we also drafted. Marshawn Lloyd was on Mel Kiper's draft board, was the best running back on Mel Kiper's draft board, and
Mm-hmm.
actually Marshawn Lloyd went out there, and said that he's the best running back in this draft class. He only has 291 carries and broke 47 tackles. He's physical. I think the Packers nailed it.
Well, I still don't see. I think I see the reason why you guys, the PPF got you guys at a B plus. Like, why did you guys draft 3 safeties?
Remember, we don't have any safeties. Rudy Ford was a free agent. We lost all these guys in free agency. At one point last year, JB, we were starting Rudy Ford and Anthony Johnson Jr., who I like Anthony Johnson Jr., but he was a 7th-round pick, JB. We just don't have a lot of we didn't have anybody besides McKinney. We lost Rudy Ford. We just didn't really have any safeties. So I think they're trying to get that safety room bolstered up, is what it more so is.
I guess. I mean,
I do think 3 safeties was a bit extreme, but they only took 1 corner, and it was the last pick of the draft.
that's probably where, because I do believe that you guys should have drafted a little bit more corners, because I feel like that's also where you guys are also hurting on, is corners. It's like, what else? What other corners do you have other than Jair Alexander? But he's always injured. Who
That's
like
what I'm saying. The Packers, on paper, they have a good corner room. Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes. That's pretty much it. Here's the problem. They're both always hurt.
exactly?
That's the
So
issue. And they brought back Keyshawn Nixon, who's our corner/kick returner. He was mostly a slot corner for us. And we do have Carrington Ballantyne, who made some plays for us last year. That's it. And now Kalen King, of course, that 7th-round draft pick we had that I talked about a little bit ago.
yeah,
That's our corner room. I mean, truly, but if Jair Alexander can stay healthy, they'll be fine. But JB, that's why I gave him an A-. That's why. Because the picks we had were outstanding. We got physical on defense, which is great. And you need to be physical on defense, and we shored up our offensive line and grabbed another running back, who was a first running back on Mel Kiper's board. So I think we had a good draft. Added a quarterback to compete. Always good to do. But I agree to the point we should have drafted a corner. That's why I said I would have went with Kool-Aid McKinstry or Cooper DeJean with our first round pick. Because Bears got some weapons, JB. They have
hmm
more. They drafted Rome. They have Allen now from the Chargers. The Vikings have Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. The Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Packers division has weapons.
hmm
And we did go out and fix the safety position. Maybe they think some of these safeties can play corner too. But they did address that we addressed the secondary, just at corner in particular. We got a lot of safeties. We got a lot of safeties, JB.
yeah. It's pretty surprising that you guys are that high or had so many safeties and not enough or barely any corners.
I agree. I mean, the NFC North has a lot of weapons. That's why I gave it an A-. Because I don't think the Jordan Morgan pick's bad. We needed an offensive lineman. I mean, and you drafted a tackle for your quarterback. You can never go wrong doing that. We needed a linebacker, and we got a physical one. Very physical one. We needed safety, but we drafted a lot of them.
Because
We
honestly,
snagged up a core.
to me, I don't think Jordan Morgan could have been a late second rounder, in my opinion. Because I don't
Most
think,
people had a second, early to mid second round grade on him. Green Bay must have just had him higher.
yeah. Because I mean, to me, I don't know. It's should have been. Yeah, you guys definitely should have picked up a corner first, because all the good corners got drafted in the early second round. Eagles took one of them, and which I was very not surprised on. But
Oh no. I mean, I agree. Now I guess the Green Bay is just banking on Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes staying healthy. And the Packers did not pick up Eric Stokes' 5th-year option. So with them not picking up his 5th-year option, that shows they don't have a lot of confidence in that, probably. So I do think we should have addressed the corner position a little earlier in this draft.
and to me, well, the Steelers also opt out or declined the 5th-year option for Najee Harris as well. So, but I do believe we're gonna sign get him a new contract.
Oh yeah, and they're talking about making him a kick returner, punt returner with the new NFL kickoff rule that kind of simulates the USF, what UFL. I watch a little bit of it, but I don't follow it super close. The UFL league.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about making him a kick and punt returner with that new rule, JB.
Who, Najee or Justin Fields?
Fields.
Oh yeah, I mean, even like I said, I do believe that Justin Fields is a Cordell Stewart, a new Cordell Stewart. I mean, he did everything. He was a receiver, he was our running back, he was our kick returner, he was our kicker and punter. Like, there's a lot of people that don't remember that Cordell Stewart was all those things. So I do believe that he is that person, in my opinion.
And speaking of players that are switching positions a little bit, if they're talking about using him as a flex player, this is kind of a side note with the Packers drafting Michael Pratt and already having Sean Clifford on the roster. Quarterback Alex McGuff, who came to us from the USFL, if I do remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience out there. He was the MVP in that league. He is switching positions from quarterback to wide receiver, JB. I've seen. So that'll be something to monitor in training camp. See if he can become like a Taysom Hill type of player. Who knows? Who knows? But JB,
Wide receiver reverse and just throwing it to Romeo
right? Well,
Dobbs or
Christian
Jordan
Watson
Love.
or Jaden Reed. That's right. Hey, you never know. I mean, we'll try anything. With that, JB, we just wrapped up the NFL draft, my friend. I do think both the Steelers and Packers had good drafts. So with that, JB, we're going to move on to the NBA, my friend. And I look depressed because I am. I did a short take last night, JB. The Miami Heat have been eliminated from the NBA playoffs, JB. Getting their ass kicked last night. There's my one curse word I'm allowed because it was bad. They got their ass kicked last night, JB, and lost the series 4-1. JB, what's your thoughts on the Miami Heat being eliminated in Boston 4-1?
Oh, I mean, am I surprised? No. I'm not that very much surprised. I mean, am I surprised that we even won a game? Yes. I'm actually really kind of surprised that we actually won a game in
Yeah,
this
you did not
series.
think we were going to.
Honestly, to me, I thought we were going to get swept. Truly honest. I mean, the last 3 games we shot horrible. It's like the only person that actually really wanted to play that game was Bam Adebayo. And he pretty much shot almost all the point, or did all the shooting. To me, he went 10 for 26 at field and 1 for 3 for 3-point. Better than what Tyler Hero did. He went 1 for 8 at the 3-point line, 6 for 19. We went 3 for 29. 3.
That was a sports fact of the day. Go check it out on Facebook. The link will be in the description down below.
3 out of 29. And you're in the NBA. This ain't college.
Oh.
10.3%. Are you kidding me? Come on. But yes,
Got outscored in all 4 quarters.
Jimmy Butler was injured. Our rookie was injured. Josh Richardson was injured. I'm surprised Orlando Robinson didn't even play, but it was a coach's decision. But he was there. He was there. And our person that we signed, which I said it was a kind of, I didn't want to say it was a terrible move, but I did say that he has an injury problem. And guess what happens? He's injured. He did not play. So, with everybody else,
here.
with everyone else, there's I just have nothing to say anymore.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Boston won. I did say we would not get swept. We're too good. I said it in a short take that we're the defending Eastern Conference champions, JB. We've been in the finals twice since 2020. We're not going to get swept. Phoenix did. We'll get into that in a minute. JB, all those injuries we just said, they didn't get swept against the team with the best record in the NBA. Some people think it's the best team in the NBA. The fact that we didn't get swept is amazing because it's only fitting that Jamie Jacquez Jr. got injured during the series because it shows our season all season long. Injury, 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 injury. We had a bunch of kids playing out there, JB. I mean, Christ, Delon Wright in an elimination game in the playoffs. He got 32 minutes for us, JB. We're just not healthy. That's not an excuse. Boston deserves to win. They truly do. They're better this year. But I think we have to acknowledge the fact that injuries had a part in the fact that we weren't as competitive. In all 4 games we lost, we got our ass kicked. It wasn't like we lost by 1 or 2 or even 10. They were just ass kickings. We just didn't have the injury health this year. Boston deserves it. They get to play the winner of the Cleveland Orlando series. They're a great team. They could go all the way. But it would have been a lot more competitive had all those injuries not happened.
Yep. 3 for 29.
It's the sports fact of the day. Sad sports fact of the day.
At least we're making history somehow.
We need we need to get I hope the Clippers lose this series because we need to go out there and get like a Paul George type of all-star level starting type of player like that. Who could go out there and get buckets for us. A scoring star. I've said that for years. Bam did what he needed to do, JB. He like you said, I mean, he went out there. 23 points. He had a decent series. Tyler Hero, I know what he is now. I'm not going to pretend. He's a good trade asset. He still is. He get you about 20 points a game. He's a good player. I said it in the short take. That's the problem, JB. He's just good. He's inconsistent. Most of this series was bad. The one game we did win, he was outstanding.
Yep.
The play-in game where Jimmy was hurt in Miami against Chicago, he really stepped up. He led us to the playoffs. I'll give him that. I will. But most of this series against Boston, he just wasn't there. And then last night was no different. He shot horrible from the field. He's just inconsistent. He got us to the playoffs. Thank you, Tyler Hero, for at least getting us there. But he just wasn't very good for the whole series, JB.
One game does not cut it. You have to play all the games to actually. And the game that we won, all of our starters was in double digits. Like I feel like there was like no team ball in it at all. Yes, Zach Wes, he had 14 points. Jovic had 11. Bam had 21. Caleb Martin had 21. Tyler Hero 24. Like those, I feel like those are our 3 players that really needed to show up through this whole entire series. Literally, the whole entire series. The one game that they did good was in game 2. It's when we tied it 1-1. And then the rest of game 3 happened. It was just not looking good. Caleb Martin, 5 points. Bam, 20. Tyler Hero, 15. Jovic with 15, Zachwez with 12. And that's when we shot 9 for 28 at 3-point. Game 4. Probably we also shot horrible. Couldn't make anything underneath the rim at all. Zachwez with 9, Jovic with 3, Bam with 25, Martin with 18, Tyler Hero with 19. And we shot for 933. It's just, we're just so inconsistent. And for me,
And injured.
and injuries. But Bam, out of this whole entire series, he did amazing. I even said it. We needed him to be. He needs to go out there and be a big man, and he was. Almost over 20 plus points this whole entire series, and double. Well, almost a double. He had 9.4 rebounds through this whole entire series, but with 22 points. That's what we needed him to do.
He did well, yeah. Yes.
So almost a double and 22 points, averaging. To me, that's what we needed, and just the rest of the team just didn't do it.
We just didn't have enough firepower to compete with Boston this year.
No, not this year.
And JB, I was watching the whole game last night, and I'm watching it thinking, at least get to 80 points, and we did. With under 2 minutes to go left in the game, we scored 84 points, JB, and that's a fact. We didn't score 80 points until under 2 minutes to go, and Boston scored 41 points in the first quarter, so they nearly scored half of what we scored for the whole game in one quarter. So it just wasn't close. It wasn't close. I'm just happy it wasn't a sweep. Getting swept is humiliating. You can't get swept, and they didn't. So I'm proud of that. Made the playoffs. Thank you, Tyler Hero, for leading us there, Bam. But yeah,
we'll now, see what the draft. If we want to talk about sweeping,
oh,
let's look at the Suns. With all
that's the broom. The broom.
All of that firepower. All of them all-stars.
They got spanked.
They got swept.
Miami didn't even get swept. Kevin Durant did. And they were all healthy. Bradley Beal was healthy. Devin Booker was healthy. I'm just going to get into it. Because how many failed teams does Kevin Durant get to be on, JB?
Too many.
He should never have left Golden State.
Nope.
They had built something there that would have wreaked havoc on the entire NBA for 6-7 years. JB, they could have won 5 in a row, I think. I really believe that. I do. I believe it. They won again without him. Mm-hmm. They could have won 5 in a row, JB. He could have went down as an all-time great. Yeah, he went to Golden State. Do I think it was a weak move? Yeah. LeBron went to Miami. He joined up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and who are Hall of Famers. They added Ray Allen later. Speaking of Ray Allen, him and Kevin Garnett went to Boston and joined Paul Pierce for a big three. They had Rajon Rondo at the time, too. One of the best assisting guards ever. People have done it always. It's always been done since the Paul Pierce era. That team really started. It's been done forever.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant's no different. I think it's a weak move. I mean, he joined literally the team that beat him. But he should never have left Golden State, JB.
No. He shouldn't have. I mean, he's been bouncing on from team to team for quite a while now, trying to copy what LeBron's legacy was, in my opinion. And look how it's looking at it now. Honestly, he should go back to OKC. Win back a team that drafted him, get them a shot to a title, in my opinion. But I mean, they're looking really good. OKC is looking really good even without him. So who knows? He might jump that bandwagon and be like, "Oh wow, my old team is actually looking good. I'm gonna go back to them." Like honestly,
Miami Heat the Miami Heat have been listed as favorites to land Kevin Durant.
I mean, we were favorites the last time he was in the free agency, and
Bingo.
we almost got him until I don't know what happened.
Do you think a lot of it is the way the Miami Heat operate, how hard they work? I called them on a short take the other day, JB, literally the Marine Corps of the NBA. There's a report out there, I don't know if you've seen it on the internet, that LeBron was upset at Pat Riley because they had something happened with the team or something, they lost a game or something like that. And Pat Riley said, "We're all going on a diet." And LeBron got on the bus and said, "Hey, can I have my cookies?" And they go, "Oh, Pat Riley removed all the cookies." Did they know they were LeBron cookies? Yeah, he knew they were LeBron's cookies, and he said, "I don't care whose cookies they were." That's a report. And Pat Riley knew they were LeBron's cookies, got rid of them, and that, yeah, yes.
I want my cookies. I want
I
my
don't know how true it
cookies.
is, but the Miami Heat, they have weekly weigh-ins. There was a podcast where on the Gilbert Arenas, it was one of his podcasts he does. That they talked about Miami Heat culture and how hard they work and how much they practice, and that how tired they are all the time. They work hard. I think maybe he just doesn't want to be part of that.
I want cookies.
Do you think?
Actually,
Think
cookies
about
does kind of sound
it.
good right now, though. Honestly.
Hey, with milk. There we go.
Hmm.
Get you an Oreo, dip it in the milk, let it sit and get kind of soggy.
That
We
just
know
sounds
what we're
good right
doing
now.
after this. We know what we're doing after this. With that, JB. Oh,
But no,
back to Kevin Durant.
But yeah. I mean, he's still a scoring machine. It's like I'm seeing on the past few games that they're playing on, averaging 25, 30 plus points a game. Like on this last game 4, I mean, looked like just like the Miami Heat. Nobody showed up except for 2 people. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Booker. Bleh. 49 points. Kevin Durant 33 points. Everyone else was in single digits. 2 people are shy of having a double or a double digit point. Bradley Beal and Nurkic. But Bradley Beal, I mean, he's been, to me, I feel like he's been underdeveloped ever since he went to the Phoenix Suns, in my opinion. But I mean, do you have all of those people? Literally all those all stars around him. He would think that, he's not going to be the star of that team.
The problem is fit matters. You can't just take names and throw them on a roster and like you do in NBA 2K and expect it to work. Even when LeBron went and Chris Bosh went to Miami, it took a little bit to adjust. At one point, you remember there was talks of Erik Spoelstra being fired. Maybe Pat Riley would replace him. And Pat Riley held strong. Obviously, he's been smart to do that. He's one of the best coaches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But we lost to Dallas in the finals. LeBron had a horrible series.
Yeah.
Fit
Well,
matters.
I mean,
The problem,
at least we went to the finals.
right? They got swept in round one. I think a lot of that has to do with it's three. Yeah, they have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, but they're all three ball dominant players
Mm-hmm.
who don't really create shots for others. That's not what they excel in. They're mainly scorers. That's it. That's what they do. They score.
Mm-hmm.
They don't only create their own shot, stuff like that. They have 3 ball dominant players on the same team who need the ball. There's only one ball, JB. There's only one ball. You can't just toss 3 ball dominant players out there and expect it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Too many egos. The roster wasn't deep enough. It wasn't constructed to win long term. That's the problem with Kevin Durant. JB.
Yep.
You know why it worked in Golden State? Draymond Green's tough. Clay and Steph spread the floor for the 3-pointer. Kevin Durant was the focal point in the middle. That's why it worked.
Mm-hmm.
You threw some random ass center out there to get a rebound. That's what they did. They won championships. Kevin Durant is not a general manager. He has not constructed smart teams after leaving. LeBron did. That's the difference.
Yep.
LeBron chose Kyrie and Kevin and Anthony Davis. It worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant went to go play with his buddy and Kyrie Irving, who was doing weird stuff, and James Harden.
Flat Earth.
Yeah.
But
Not
no,
a good look, JB.
there's just one player I really love right now. It's Anthony Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
That kid can ball hard. He went 13 for 23, 7 for 13, and he had 40 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists that game. I think this was, the last game. 40 points. Almost a double-double. Well, if you really want to count 6 being kind of shy, being shy as a going to 10. I mean, yeah. I mean, so he was shy as to a triple double with 2 blocks and 1 steal.
And they have Karl Anthony Towns, who had 28 points and 10 rebounds in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
That team, JB, they're young, but ooh boy, could they go all the way? That's true. I mean, they swept Phoenix.
Yep.
I'm not saying Phoenix losing is bad, but they got swept. They
Mhm.
swept them, JB.
And everyone's saying that Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns is going to work. Like, look,
Oh, it's worked.
I told you it would work. I even told everyone that. Everyone's saying it's like, oh no, that pickup is bad for the the Timberwolves. I'm like, no, it's not. Put Karl Anthony Towns at the forward spot because he can shoot. Put Rudy Gobert in the middle, under the rim. Like it's not that hard to comprehend.
No. People don't understand it. People want to just shoot threes now. That's not how the NBA works. Look at
Mm-mm.
all the successful teams out there, JB. They have good big men. Yeah, Jokic can shoot a little bit, but he's a big man. That's what he's best at. The Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo, made the finals, I don't know, twice since 2020, made the playoffs this season. He's a big man, mainly down low.
Yep. But
Big men win.
To me, I think right now the Miami Heat is missing 2 key factors. A true big man. Because to me, in my eyes, I don't see Bam as a true big man. I don't.
He's more of a Karl Anthony Towns type of player who's just not as good at shooting. Bam,
Because he can now shoot threes. He's been making them. This whole series he was 1 for 3. So
he can do it.
he can do it. He can do it. So that's why we need a big man, like a true big man. It says like all of these centers now are like over 7 foot, 7 7'2", 7'3" now, and where's Bam at? He's at 6'10". Like there's not a lot of stuff he can do. So that's why I put him in the forward spot. Get us a big man. Zach and then just have a elite scorer like Paul George, Kevin Durant. Try to get someone in the free agency. To me, mostly Paul George, because I do believe that he can fit in this, um, Miami Heat's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Heat culture, bro.
Yeah, well, isn't it, well, it's
Heat culture.
I mean, it is a culture, but I'm talking. The other word I'm looking for though.
JB, we weigh our players weekly. They're not allowed to have cookies, apparently. Like,
I want my
Pat Riley
cookies.
runs. Pat Riley has a no headband rule. You know
But
that?
yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, no, but there's a
He made
hard.
an exception for LeBron.
I want to say the toughness.
Yes.
So I do believe that Paul George is a lot better fit than what Kevin Durant is. Yes, Kevin Durant is
Would
an elite
agree.
scorer, but to me also is Paul George. But Paul George can fit into this Heat culture, the toughness as what the Miami Heat has been pulling through.
And it makes sense because he lives in LA. Beautiful place to be. Just come over to Miami. It's still beautiful. It's not like you're going to Indianapolis or something. It's warm. Come on out. Come on down.
Yep. But I mean how I'm seeing it. I mean, it'd be nice if we get Kevin Durant because I mean we could get Jimmy Butler can be the shooting guard in my eyes. Kevin Durant to be the small forward. Bam could be the power forward, and Zaki as our big man. And then whatever point guard that we decide to still have, either be Tyler Hero or whoever at this point. At this point, I really don't care. Terry Rozier, if he's still on the team, if he's healthy. But I do believe that's what we're missing. So we're missing two key factors in that whole for the Miami Heat.
And you know, JB, speaking of Paul George, let's talk about the Clippers. JB, the Clippers are looking like they're going to continue doing what the Clippers do and blow it because they are now down 3-2 in their series, JB. JB, what's your thought on the Clippers and the Mavericks? I mean, the Mavericks are. I mean, I've said many times that Luka Doncic needs to win in the playoffs. They missed the play-in in general last year. So, what's your thought on that series, JB? The Mavericks whooped the Clippers 123-93 and now lead the series 3-2. What's your thoughts, JB?
Well, I mean, I do believe it is the good time because yes, they did miss the play-in because of Kyrie and Luka not playing that game. The last game, the one game that actually mattered, and they decided not to. But now they're in, and now they're actually looking really, really good right now. Kyrie, he had 14 points. He went 6 for 14, 1 for 7, which is not terrible. It's terrible. I mean, Luka also went 2 for 8, but he did have 35 points. Actually had a double double. Shy has a triple double. He had 7 rebounds that game. So 10 assists with 35 points. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking really good. Man, Paul George looking horrible. 11 rebound. He did have a double double though. He had 11 rebounds. With 15 points. He went 2 for 6, 4 for 13. James Harden, really
Horrible. Super F.
Super F. And Russell Westbrook went 2 for 11, 0 for 3, 6 points. I mean, I'm looking at it. The Clippers played everybody. Literally everybody. Everybody played that game, and they still lost. Except for Kawhi Leonard and Kai Jones. So, I mean, well, that's normal for Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's always injured. There's always something wrong with him. But I mean, Mavs are looking good. They're looking really good. I do believe they're gonna win this series. I don't think Clippers doesn't have it anymore.
They never did, JB. Here's why. The Clippers, since 2010, have actually, since the Blake Griffin era, for a while now, over 10 years, have been a more stable organization than the Lakers. They have. The
Mm-hmm.
Lakers won that one championship in 2020, the COVID year, in the bubble title. The Lakers still are more relevant than the Clippers always will be. I don't know when the Clippers open their new arena. I know that's coming. I don't know when that happens, but I'm not a man of big belief in like that type of juju and stuff like that. I'm not a man of that. But the Clippers, man, they're snake bitten organization, snake
Yep.
bitten franchise. What will go wrong can, and they're snake bitten. It's like that little black cat under a ladder type of deal. Because something always is wrong with Kawhi Leonard. Paul George goes out there and has a bad performance for his standard. James Harden literally had 7 points, almost had as many turnovers as he did assists. Um, just weird stuff with the Clippers always. Blake Griffin got hurt back in the playoffs before with the Clippers. They need to get out of that. They need to get out of the Staples Center. They they use the same locker room as the Lakers. They use the same arena as the Lakers. They're not the Lakers. They've been the NBA laughingstock for years. They've been a playoff team for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long time. But now they're playoff failures every year. They have the talent. They have good ownership in Ballmer. He has a lot of money. He cares about the team. He wants to succeed. He gives out and gets these good players. He is. He's doing what he needs to do. They need to get into their own arena and start that up on their own level because they're always going to be the Lakers' little brother in their shadows if they don't.
Yep. Exactly.
But I will agree with you. The Mavericks look very good right now. They're going to win this series. Luka has recently said that he has been failing Kyrie in recent losses, and he went out there with 35 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and put his money where his mouth goes. He has to do it one more time. But 3-2 series lead. That's a hard Western Conference, JB.
Mm-hmm.
Hard Western Conference. So I'm interested to see this next game with the Clippers.
Yep. I mean, well,
And I'm more.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
well, I was looking at all of the games that the Clippers has won so far. I mean, James Harden was looking good. He's averaging 25, sometimes 30 points a game. So is Paul George with 30 plus points. With some of them had 30 plus points, some had 20 plus points. So I mean, Paul George and James Harden were actually looking good, but just that game alone was horrible, absolutely horrible. But that's all I got.
I just looked it up here, JB, on Google. The internet's our best friend. The Clippers' new arena is set to open in Inglewood, California, which is a beautiful area.
Very beautiful.
It is
Never
scheduled
been.
to open
Never
in
been.
no, but from what I've seen on the internet, and it's a beautiful thing. What I've read, beautiful place, scheduled to open in August 2024, ahead of the 2024-2025 NBA season. So the Clippers are opening their new stadium up. So they need to get in there because they got some. They need to get out of the Lakers' shadow somehow.
Yep.
With that, JB, I'll move on to another series. We'll talk about this one for a minute. The Indiana Pacers are playing right now as we speak. They are up in that series 3-2, 68 to. Excuse me, the Pacers are winning 78-65 right now, JB. In Indiana, our home state right now. So they win. The Pacers hold on to that 13-point lead. There's 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. So if they can hold on to that 13-point lead, the Indiana Pacers, JB, will move on into round 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yep. And it's finally that it's time to that the Pacers are actually doing something. but they're actually doing. They're having this advantage to them. Excuse me. Having Giannis not playing, in my opinion. So this is they're having this advantage to them. So kudos to the Pacers, but Damian Lillard's still a tough player. So and he's playing. And he already has 19 points right now. Brooke Lopez with 16, Bobby Portis with 15, and Chris Middleton with 12. Patrick Beverley is the only
And
one with.
Chris Middleton stepped up big time.
He always has. He's it's like that one game when you faced with the Heat. He was lights out that game. He could put a blindfold on, he could still play.
Yeah.
I mean, but
and the Pacers got some players, JB. Halliburton is a NBA All-Star. You have Miles Turner. The Pacers got some players, man. They do. They're a good team.
Probably one team, or actually one player that's actually really kind of slept on is Obi Toppin. He's actually really
yeah.
He's actually really
Pascal
good too.
Siakam.
Yep.
That was a good trade for the Pacers. Pascal getting another All-Star beside Tyrese Halliburton, and then you have Miles Turner at center and the big man.
He has 2 points right now.
What wins in the right, but he's had a good series. They're still winning in the series, and the game right now even. So it's basketball's me and you know, JB, in Indiana, for those that are around this area, Indiana people love their Colts, but there's something about basketball in this state, or always has been, JB. People get revved up remember in school when the Pacers were good with Paul George.
Yep.
That was a big time, and the pace with Danny Granger made the playoffs a few times. Basketball is big in Indiana, JB. So it's good to at least see the home state keep relevance.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. I mean, well, Indiana is always a basketball state. Well, always will
absolutely.
be. That's why we're called the Hoosiers.
And Purdue's big too.
Oh yeah. I mean, look who went to the finals or went to the championship. So,
JB, I'm gonna move on to one kind of side game. I want to talk about this game because no one else is. The Magic and Cavaliers series, JB's actually been an underrated series. No one's talking about that series at all. And that's been a good series, JB. That's a 3-2 series in Orlando tomorrow. The last game was a 1-point Cavalier victory. That's been an underrated series, JB. Most of those games have been on NBA TV. They're not even played on the big time networks on TNT and all that whatnot. Yeah. So it's wild to me. That's an underrated series to me. There's 2 small market teams, and the NBA's treating it like it. It's sad to me because you have Blanquero for the Magic was an All-Star this year. He's an outstanding player. The Magic are a small market team. They haven't been relevant since Dwight Howard. The NBA doesn't give them this attention they deserve. They've been on NBA TV too much. Put them on TNT. That's a good series. Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs. They're a small market too. Garland's a good player at point guard. That's a real series. It's sad to me. If anything, as a Heat fan, white hot Heat, Miami Heat all day long. Let's be honest. The Magic Cavaliers series should be on TNT. The Heat Celtics series should have been on NBA TV. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's like this Magic team is something else.
Yes, they've had a good season, JB.
Really a really good under the bridge type of season. So they're actually looking good.
They finished the regular season 47-35. They were a 5 seed. They weren't even a play-in team, JB. The NBA divisions don't really matter anymore because they're not guaranteed playoff spots anymore. But the Orlando Magic, JB, actually won the division. And they're in the same division as the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
NBA divisions don't matter anymore because Adam Silver, yeah, I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But it's an underrated series, my friend. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm higher on them than most people are. They're the 4 seed. I mean, they're only 1 game worse than the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. I mean, now the Milwaukee Bucks is not that good anymore.
Well, they've had similar to Miami injuries. I think their injuries are worse than Miami's are. I mean, my God, who's our best players in Miami? Jimmy and Bam, our dynamic duo. Last to the finals twice.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Milwaukee? Dame and Giannis. At least we had one. We had Bam. God, Milwaukee's missing them both, JB.
Not today. I mean,
Right, but right.
it's it's a good series. I'll give him that, but Giannis is missing the whole this whole entire series, and it's hurting him big time. Because I don't think Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton can't do it by themselves. So
Indiana's young. They're hungry. They want it.
Yep.
And with that, JB, one more series I'm going to talk about here for a minute. The New York-Philadelphia series. That starts here in about 30 minutes as of this recording, 8:24 our time. Eastern Conference, Jesus, Eastern Standard Time. We talk basketball. Oh, my mind scrambled. With that, JB, Tyrese Maxey and Joel B had a big game in last game, JB, to keep their hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
New York, JB, still up 3-2 in that series. What's your thoughts on that series, JB?
Well, I mean, it's a good. It's finally that Tyrese Maxey actually showed up in at the time that actually mattered, because they were going to lose that game if Tyrese Maxey did not show up. Once again, holding together a team is Tyrese Maxey. Is Joel Embiid the best player on that team? I don't know. Probably not anymore. Ever since Tyrese Maxey, he's having that team on his shoulders for ever since a while. And I mean,
Joel Embiid got injured.
Ever since Joel Embiid got injured, Tyrese Maxey alone put that team on his back.
Yes, he did.
I mean, yes, Joel Embiid did get a triple double. He had 10 assists, 16 rebounds, and 19 points, but should have been a lot better. He went 7 for 19 on the field and only 1 for 4 at 3. I mean,
his co-star though had the hot hand. He had 46 points and 9 assists. JB, he just had the hot hand.
Oh yeah,
and Joel Embiid is dealing with that. Is it palsy of some sort? I don't know not a doctor, JB, but he's dealing with that.
Yeah, he's dealing with something.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, there's I mean, he had 50 points the next game the game before that they won. So, when they came up with the win over a 2-1 lead. But I mean, to me, I feel like he needs to be more consistent into that because he can be the most dominant player in this league by far. But he's just so inconsistent at times. Because the one game he scored 50 points, and then the next game, I'm looking right now. Sometimes the computer wants to be a little slow. But the next game, he had 27. He went 7 for 19, 1 for 6 at 3. So, I mean,
I'm not going to say yet. It's still too early. They're still down in that series 3-2. They need to come back in this series.
Mhm.
Had a triple-double. I will say it's Bell's palsy he's dealing with right now. Joel Embiid has a chance right now to go out there. He had a triple-double. Maxi's hot. They have 2 more wins they need. They have a chance to come back. They truly do. They at least have a chance.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that game
But I
tonight.
mean, Jalen Brunson.
He's a superstar, my dude.
I thought that was going to be a laughing matter for Jalen Brunson to leave wherever, I forgot what team he was on, to go with the New York Knicks.
Dallas screwed up getting rid of him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dallas screwed up.
So Dallas screwing up with getting rid of him, because if you think about it, just think about where he would be, or Dallas would be at, if he had the same. I want to say, well, he still had the same talent, but if Kyrie, Luka, and Brunson were all on the same court together, I mean, to me, that's. But Jalen Brunson wanted to be the star of the show, and right now in this series, he's averaging 34 points.
Yeah.
Almost 35, 34.4.
That's the thing, is because I don't think it would work with all of those guys, mainly because, like I said, with the Sun situation, there's only one ball. Those are mainly ball-dominant players. Luka's a ball-dominant player. Kyrie can play without the ball. He can facilitate a little bit. He's a little more okay. He did it with LeBron. He can share the ball a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But then you add...
Kyrie can create his shot.
Brunson, and I felt like Brunson and Luka, just like I said, there's only one ball. You got 2 ball-dominant players right there. And it really works well in New York because you have a bunch of really just good players, JB, around Jalen Brunson. Does this kind of help him? Josh Hart's not an all-star player. He's a good player.
Sometimes you need all those good players to step up, at least get like double-digit points. Like OG over here, he had 17 points.
Yes.
Josh Hart with 18. And Miles McBride had 14 points. I mean, sometimes that's what you need. You need good players to actually step up and get those double-digit points. And then you just have that all-star scorer just making everything. And that's what Jalen Brunson is. So, and that's what the Heat are missing.
A ball-dominant player. Yes. Because the Knicks have one superstar and a bunch of good players.
Mm-hmm.
That can win, JB. The old Pistons teams proved that when they won that title.
Mm-hmm. But if the New York Knicks keep this up, play good defense, have all of their good players averaging double digits, and then Brunson just doing his thing, averaging almost 40 points a game, they could win. They can go out and win it all, in my opinion. But they just got to keep doing what they're doing. I mean, Brunson is a heck of a ball player, almost averaging 40 points, like I said. So yeah, that's all I got.
And JB, we talked every series. That's all we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. JB, we talked about it a lot, JB. People haven't seen us in almost 13 days, my friend. At the time everyone sees this, we will have a new intro. We got t-shirts. Me and JB both repping each color.
Yep.
JB, what do you got for the people? Big things happening, my friend. Big things.
Oh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be that Dallas Cowboy fan. This is our year. This is the Steelers' year. I mean, we got 2 of the elite quarterbacks. I want to say Justin Fields is an elite quarterback, but when he can do great things, he does great things. Is it consistent? No. But to me, I do believe he can be this Army Swiss knife like Cordell Stewart. And then drafting all those young guys. We got most of the steals in that whole entire draft, in my opinion. Yeah, this is our year. I mean, we probably have one of the best drafts in all of NFL so far, in my opinion. But yeah, it's also sad to see that our Miami Heat did lose to one of our playoffs' rivals, is the Boston Celtics. But we've been going at it for quite a while, and it was about to be that time where they actually won the series. So that's all I got.
The Miami Heat and Boston Celtics have played 4 times as of recently, but 2 times won by Miami, 2 times won by Boston. It's one of the best rivalries in the NBA, and it's always good to see a Boston Celtics Miami Heat playoff matchup this time of year. It's only fitting. And with that, JB, the dark times are approaching a little closer because our Purdue Boilermakers college basketball is over, and NFL's not playing, and the Miami Heat have been eliminated. And the NBA playoffs are starting to sort of head to round 2 and end of round 1. So, JB, we're getting a little closer to the dark times. The Packers had an outstanding draft. I'm excited to see what the Packers do this season. We got some big toys for Jeff Hafley, some physical players, physical safety, and Bullard, and then Cooper at linebacker, really physical from Texas A&M. I think our first-round draft pick was a little underrated in Jordan Morgan. He's a good offensive lineman. He's a good run blocker. So excited to see what the Packers do. We've got a good running game as well with Marshawn Lloyd, the running back. Still have A.J. Dillon and Josh Jacobs. So Packers are going to be a good team this year. I'm excited. That's all I got. My last, as always, go Pack and go. Let's go Heat. And boiler up, baby. Dark times are coming. I'm sad.
Yep, it's dark times coming, but we can always talk about the training camps.
We will.
How we are be playing, how good the team is looking so far. But that is all for this episode of the Unbiased Hard Take. Yes, it's been a long time coming. 13 days. Almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. And you guys were dying to see us again. And here we are. So, that wraps it up for this episode of the Unbiased Hard Take. Now I'm going to end it off with, let's go Heat, even though we lost. Let's go Purdue. It's a new season, new year for us. And then, finally but not least, let's go Steelers. See you all next week.
Next week.